I want to be in old New Hampshire. I want to go.
Hello from New Hampshire. I'm Ruth Craig, editor of the New Hampshire Genealogical Record, here to talk to you about the winter 2026 issue, volume 38, number 1. Now, as you know, political disagreement was intense in 1776. And here in New Hampshire, people had to make public their opinion. Adult men over 21 were asked to sign a document called the Association Test. This was a pledge to oppose the British, to use force if necessary. And so we have documents in New Hampshire of men who signed this document, and also recorded were those who refused to sign. And this makes for something of a 1776 census, a list of inhabitants from more than a decade before the first official U.S. Census. Now, the articles in this issue of the NH Record make use of this association test. This 1776 census. So one of the articles is by Jared Nathan, and it's about a man named David Stacy. Now, David Stacy appeared in New Hampshire around this time in Westmoreland. By the way, we're on the bank of a brook that feeds into the Connecticut River, which is just down here. It's on the west coast of New Hampshire, and Westmoreland lies about 60 miles down the river. So this man signed the association test. Where did he come from? Who were his ancestors? And this author has addressed all those questions and more. He has been able to go back from this man who just appeared, back to his father, and back to the earliest immigrant, which was a man in Massachusetts. It's a beautiful article. It's a very beautiful example of a genealogical proof of his parentage, and proof of every link to the original Stacy. Another article in this issue is by Bruce Barker, and it concerns the Piper family, who were in Stratham, New Hampshire. They were early settlers of Stratham, New Hampshire. Stratham's on the other side of the state, toward the east. And these people came even much earlier, around end of the 1600s, beginning of the 1700s. Two brothers came to Stratham, and the author of this article has been able to document their original family, also in Massachusetts, a different place in Massachusetts, and many of their descendants. This is a two-part article, so we have the two New Hampshire settlers in this issue, and there will be a second part. Some of their descendants are in this issue, some will be in the second part of this article. But so descendants of the original Stratham settlers were here in New Hampshire at the time of the association test. And interestingly, some of them signed their opposition to the British, but many of them refused to sign. So there was disagreement even within the family. And this is also a beautiful article, incredibly well documented for these very early settlers. I think, talk about reasonably exhaustive documentation. This article will give you a great example of that. Of course, disagreements continued, maybe not as huge as whether we should oppose the British or not, but after the Revolution. And also in this issue, we have a review by Margaret Hodges of a collection of court documents that's in it's in the Portsmouth Athenaeum. These are court documents that start in 1784. And so they document all kinds of small disagreements, big disagreements, deaths, assaults, sheriff's notices. And so, these disagreements and agreements, you can help you find your ancestors and also learn something about their lives. So this collection has recently become online, and this author has given you explicit directions, making it very easy to search this. You can click on the document and you will see the original document. Finally, we have a context article by Robert Cameron Weir. It's about the association test, the history of how this association test came about, and how it's so great that they did this, because we now have it, so we can trace our New Hampshire ancestors. So this is a fantastic issue of the New Hampshire Genealogical Record. I wish I could talk to you more about it, but I gotta get out of this weather before it starts snowing harder. So happy winter from New Hampshire.